Today I want to talk about my embryo, my very last embryo, and what I have been going through for the past 4 months. Buckle up, because this is a doozy, you guys. So, as you all know, I transferred back in June. We are now in October, okay? But I transferred back in June. And that landed up in a chemical, which let me have 1 embryo left, okay, out of all 5. Now, if you are new here and you have not watched my other videos, let me just do a quick recap. So, I had 5 embryos. I lost a baby at 22 weeks. I lost a baby at 5 weeks. I had my son, full term. And I just had a chemical. So that leaves me with 1. And I did all 4 of my other transfers with the same clinic. But I guess while I was in the middle of my last transfer, they completed a merge with a different company. Then when I wanted to move forward to transfer my last embryo with them, I was told I no longer meet their requirements and that I needed to find a new clinic because of my BMI. So, I found a new clinic. I had to wait almost 2 months for a consultation. In those 2 months while I was waiting, I was trying to get information on my embryo because I knew they were trying to move over all the embryos to the new updated clinic that was an hour further out from me. And so I didn't really do much. I just tried to get more information, but I didn't get any information from anybody. No one would call me back. No one would respond to my portal messages. It was like crickets. Then I went for my consultation in August, and she told me that I had to go through a couple things before I could actually move my embryo over to their clinic. So I did what I had to do, and then she also told me that I should start looking into me moving it and getting a hold of the embryologist at my old clinic and getting in contact with the one in the new clinic. So I called the new old clinic, so the merged over clinic. I called them. I told them I was never a patient of theirs, but I was a patient of the clinic they merged with, and that I'm trying to move my embryo. So she ultimately told me they don't know where my embryo is at. They cannot locate it. And that someone will have to call me back. Talk about devastated. I didn't know what to do with myself. So I am attached to a Facebook group for locals in our area. And I was like telling them my situation, what I was going through, and seeing if anybody went through something similar or what to do. So, because pretty much my embryo is lost. No one knows where it's at. So, and when I say that, they don't know if it was at the old lab or if it got moved to the new lab. However, I gave no permission, none at all, to have my embryo moved. Let me just state that right now. So my embryo should be at the lab that I shipped it to from long-term storage back in May. Okay? So after calling and portal messages again, going through that, now I'm in like panic mode. Somebody on Facebook actually gave me the direct number for the old lab, so that way I can reach out to them to verify that they still have my embryo, because no one from the other clinic was calling me back. Sorry, guys. So, I want to have I'm in my room and my light is like no shade on it. So it's like, you can see it's showing my shadow. Anyways, so no one called. So I finally called this number that I was given. I called and I got a voicemail. I left a voicemail. However, I am a school bus driver. I have a very small window during the day where I can make calls and take calls. So, I gave them my email on the voicemail and said, email will always be best than trying to play phone tag. So, because I literally have like a 2.5 hour window that I'll actually be able to be on the phone. And that's mid-morning. So anyways, so not even 24 hours later, I got an email saying that yes, she has my embryo. It is still at the clinic, but they are no longer associated with the new clinic that got merged over. So I guess the lab at my old clinic detached themselves during the merge because of certain things within the merge, I guess, from my understanding. And I guess they are hired separately. So they are still part of the old clinic until all the embryos are gone from the lab, from my understanding. So anyways, so from her, on her end, because I was like, what do I need to do to move my embryo? So on her end, me and Josh needed to sign release forms. Well, first she said we have to make sure that we owe no debt to the clinic. And she said that she's seen that I owed like $2.56. So of course I went ahead and I paid that. $2.56. I think I'll be all right. And then she said that once that's paid, she'll be able to send me the paperwork for me and Josh to sign to release the embryo to the new clinic. So we did that. We did that right away. Like right when she sent it to us, we did it. And then I thought she had told me that somebody from billing will call me with more details. So like I waited like maybe 4 or 5 days and I heard nothing. So I emailed her back and I said, hey, listen, I haven't heard anything back from billing. What do I do? And she told me that billing will only contact me if I owed money, which I didn't. I didn't owe money. So, because I already paid it. So she then told me that I need to hire my own transport company. And she gave me a couple names and numbers of different transport companies that do use, that she works with. And she said that I have to hire them. And then I also have to give her information over to the new clinic because to make sure that they will even accept my embryo. Because I guess there's some things she has to go over with the new clinic's embryologists. So I was like, okay, great. So then I had to call the new clinic. However, their whole system is so weird what I had to do just to get in contact with somebody. So I called the number that I was provided. Their voice message said that if by leaving a message, they don't have to get back to me for 72 hours. And then they gave me an email address that I can email and I can get a quicker response. So I left a voicemail, but I also emailed. I did get an email within 24 hours, an email back within 24 hours. So she told me that I need to give her all the information of the contact person where my embryo is at because they have to verify that they can accept the embryo, which I was already told that, so which is fine. So then she told me that I need to hire a transport company, and she gave me some names and things like that of some companies. But I also asked her if they have a capsule where I can myself go pick it up and go to the old clinic, them nestle my embryo into the capsule, and I can transport it to the clinic. And she said they do not offer that. So that stinks, because I know a couple of other women in my local group has done that with different clinics, though. Not the ones that I particularly are using. Anyways, so oh yeah, so I called around to many different transport companies, and the prices I got for transporting my one embryo was all the way up to $2,000. Okay, and that's without any insurance. A lot of like $1,200, $1,500. Now, so you guys have a better understanding on how far this embryo is going. It is going from Denham, Massachusetts to Boston, Massachusetts. They are literally maybe like 40 minutes from each other. Maybe, depending on traffic. Okay, so it's not going that, as you can tell, it's not going that far, you guys. So those price ranges were crazy. I ended up calling this one mom and pop place that is local, and they charged $490. The only thing is they did not offer insurance on the embryo during transport. And then she explained to me why. She was very nice and explained to me the whole thing, that they are a small mom and pop company, and they actually don't ship theirs off through like FedEx or UPS. They actually have a courier that will do it that same day, and it will be delivered within an hour. So I liked the idea that it wasn't going to be tossed around in the back of somebody's van. So, like through FedEx or UPS or whatever it is. So I like the fact that it was through a carrier or courier, whatever it's called, and that within an hour of them picking it up, it's delivered to the location that it needed to be delivered to. So we did go with that company, only it was the cheapest, and it was our best option, where I felt comfortable doing so. So there was a lot of factors, because we did have insurance before when we moved our embryo to long-term storage. However, we were shipping it from like halfway across the country. So it wasn't a local long-term storage. It did get overnighted there, so it was by air. But can you imagine how many hands got put onto that? With this, it was only one person involved handling it, so that was the best decision. So anyways, for this company, for us to hire, she had to send us paperwork, and we had to fill it out, and we had to sign. And we had to sign that and then send it back to them. So we did all that. The nice thing with this company too is we don't pay until they schedule with both of the clinics. So it's not pay now and we'll figure out when we're doing it. No, it's we're going to figure out when we're going to do this, and then you pay us. So I liked that too. That was nice, because a lot of the places you pay first, then they book it. So the only thing that took us a little bit of time was the new clinic needed us to sign a lot of documents regarding our embryo, and it had to be notarized. Now, finding the time for me and Josh to actually be at the same place before 4:30 during the week was nearly impossible without taking time out. It just so happens I got really sick one of those days, and I had no choice but to call out because of safety reasons for driving a bus. And Josh ended up calling out for safety reasons for Malachi. And later on in the day, when I started feeling better, we decided to go to the bank and get it notarized, and we were able to send it over. So things had a way of working itself out, which I was very grateful for. So it did take the company the transport company almost probably about 5 days to schedule the appointment. So they finally got back to me. They said, okay, we're gonna do it on Friday. They told me on Tuesday. We said, okay, Fridays we're gonna transport. Now you need to pay, and we will keep you updated on the transport. So we went ahead and paid it that night, and Thursday night I got an email just them verifying that they're gonna go pick up the embryo and transport it, and they will give us an update later. So the next day, it took all day for me to get a response from them, and I was getting nervous. I'm not gonna even lie, I was super, super nervous, but I finally got the greatest email ever. I'll try to actually put it up here, you guys, where it said that our embryo was received safe and sound. And it was such a relief, and it felt so great to finally have this embryo at my new clinic, because if I get my period, I cannot start my cycle if my embryo was not received by then. And I am literally due like any day. So I was under a lot of stress because it just got there on Friday. This past Friday. So yeah. So it took 4 months to get my embryo moved. But it's moved, it's safe and sound, and I just wanted to tell you guys what happened and how everything went down. Just in case you guys have to do it too. Like, if you guys are watching this and you have embryos that are at one place and you've never had to do this before, this was a process I had to do. And don't wait last minute. Do not wait last minute. You have to get on it, and because it does take a while. It shouldn't take no 4 months like it did for me, but that's because of a merger that happened and no one knows nothing. So, also, I don't know if I told you guys too, like, the clinic that I used to go to for 10 years, they are a private company. The new place that I am at is a hospitalized clinic. So the clinic is within the hospital. So they follow hospital guidelines. And that is why my BMI is okay to do a transfer. And it's funny because even the doctor was like, I couldn't believe they won't even do your last transfer for you. That's so ridiculous. Like, she was even like, are you kidding me? So anyway, she goes to me, she's like, it's not like it was a retrieval where you're going in for surgery. I said, I know. Like, you're wide awake. You're not under any anesthesia. Yeah. So that is my story on my little embryo. But I have way more to tell you guys. So catch the next video. Have a good night.